Hello and welcome to Decorate It. My name is Mary and this is Wes. And tonight's episode is episode 66. We're going to be discussing the International Custom Rod Building Expo that we just got back from Sunday. What?
I didn't say nothing.
Why you stared at me like that? So the ICRBE is what we shortchange it to because that's a whole mouthful of something to say. But the expo is something that we have been going to. You've been going to it since it started, right?
I've been going since 2005.
And it's moved around a lot, but it's settled in Winston-Salem. I started going in, you took me there in 2012?
Yeah.
2012 was my first one, and it was in High Point with that one.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we started showing up as vendors either 2016 or 2017.
I think it was 17.
It was right after, like, our oldest was born in 2015, so it was after that. I don't think it was 16. I don't think we immediately jumped in. It was probably 17.
It was after that because you were pregnant with the youngest before we were vendors because the very next year.
No, we were vendors. I was sitting, there's literally me in a photo somewhere out there where I'm shoving my face full of Jimmy John's, and we were vendors because we were partnered up with that Italian company at that time. So it was 2016, 2007, or 2017, maybe 2018 when we first showed up as vendors, but we have been going every single year since then as vendors, and we have enjoyed it. I mean, I feel like even if you don't go as a vendor, if you show up there, you're going to learn a ton.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of, like when Tom was running it, seminars, a lot of really educational seminars. I remember the first one that I sat in on was Mark Krause teaching about decorative wraps. And that was when I learned how to spiral a decorative wrap. Didn't even know you could do that. And I went home and cut off a wrap that I had wrapped like 15 times to spiral it because I knew it was going to look better. So they're very informative, very fun, and you get to meet the vendors. You get to buy stuff while you're there. It saves you on shipping. Put your hands on the product, touch it, feel it, discuss any questions you have with people that are there. Like, it's super cool. But for us, in our experience, I obviously was working on that wrap on that rod, which is just redo times 2 times 3, depending on what I'm working on. I had to stop on it in the middle of the wrap. Well, right at the close of the wrap, because I needed to get prepped for the expo. And I had this great idea this year to take custom grips down there. And I didn't even get through half of the ones that I started. I got through most of the blocks that we made with your help and with the kids' help. I got through most of those. But it took about a week to get all that stuff done. I completely underestimated my time frame of how long it was going to take me. But I did get them there. I think 37 sets ended up going.
Yes. Well, 36
plus one I turned there,
plus one you turned there,
And I had overlays that I was going to take, and those just didn't make it. Like, it is what it is. I had wood burned cork grips that we're going to go to, but so it was interesting. The lead up to that. And the other thing for us is that I normally take half the shop with me because it's just become that thing since Jillian sat down in the booth in 21 that there's always been a wrapper in the booth. I usually am always wrapping. The
Yeah.
last few years I haven't done that because I've had kids in the booth every year, and so I usually just let them wrap. And there's always at least 2 wrappers in my booth. Previous years I have taken every single wrapper I owned, which with the help from like Craig and a few other people that are just giving us donations of wrappers. I think we own a total of like 8, 9, 10. I don't remember
Well, I
exactly how many
remember
wrappers.
There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 back behind us right now.
Including the one on the table.
No.
Yeah, so we have 10. We have 7 in storage containers, and then we have 3 that are out that we use.
Mm-hmm.
So I've accumulated 10 wrappers, and for the last few years, I have brought most of those with me to the expo in some capacity for other people to sit down and learn how to wrap or to marble or whatever they want to practice on in the booth. Well, this year we brought all the wrappers again because the power wrappers were going to the Learning Center, which is the hands-on section that David Bull, the brand new owner of the expo, he has the Learning Center, which is a hands-on, you sit down, you learn, somebody's presenting you stuff, here's how you're supposed to do it. So I was bringing all those extra power wrappers for him, but my goober butt forgot that the power wrappers we have in storage don't have the stands attached to them because
They're
they
over
wouldn't
there
fit.
in the bin.
They're over there in the tote that didn't go with us, so he couldn't use our power wrappers. Nobody could use them, so he ended up just putting them in storage until the end of the show. But we still had our 2. We had 3 at our booth, but only 1 was out. But I was so busy running back and forth doing seminars and stuff and talking with people and everything. I never even actually sat down and even do a wrap. And Jillian wasn't there this year, who is, everybody thinks that's my daughter. That's not my daughter. That's just my adopted child because she sat down in 21 and didn't get up for 2 days straight. And now has become extended family for us, but she couldn't make it this year. And the Taylor kids were there, but they weren't sitting down to do stuff. They were actually doing some other fun stuff, which we'll talk about later. And so yeah, it was definitely a little different as far as setup this year.
Mm-hmm.
But we did get the grips there. Had a bunch of display, and with that being said, I usually pack up half my shop. So my wrappers go. 2 of my big 6-foot tables go because I don't like renting their stuff because there's fold-out tables, and I don't have a problem with fold-out tables. I don't like the height of the fold-out tables, and it gives me flashbacks and nightmares of sitting down at a table that's shorter than this, leaning over, working on it. Whenever you have to do it, it hurts your back when you're there all day.
Because you're like hunched over the whole time.
That's how I started, and I was having such bad upper back problems that I was like, ugh. So we did try, was it 2 years ago when the V happened?
Mm-hmm.
I tried to rent high top tables because I thought they would be high top tables. This is not the case. They were just fold out tables that these guys had like duct taped to PVC stands to make them taller. And I was like, that is so ghetto. So I hated how it looked. So I ended up just taking my shop tables with me because they're not pretty. They're stained. They're ugly. They got painted white and never got sealed. So they're just picking up dirt and stuff. But I cover them with tablecloths.
Mm-hmm.
But I like the height of them because they're like 36 inches tall, so it's a higher workspace and it's easier.
They're taller than that.
Are they? I don't remember how tall I made them.
I want to say they're like 43 to the top.
Probably. Yeah, but I can stand and work on the wrapper, or I can sit on a bar stool, and both are comfortable. Anyway, so we parked the trailer in the driveway, Monday or Tuesday. We're not supposed to have a trailer in our neighborhood, but whatever, I don't care what they say. I was going to start slowly loading the trailer throughout the week.
How'd that go for you, Mary?
I didn't finish the last grips until Thursday morning, 12 o'clock. And I couldn't move anything into the trailer because the other thing that we take with us is the lathe now. And
it has to go first.
It has to go first, and I wasn't done with it. So once again started prepping for it like a week in advance, but put more work on me than I should have, and boom, then I'm still packing the night of. I think we finally finished Thursday night at like 12 or 1, I think is when we finally stopped. But that's also, we had to stop in the afternoon to go drop the dogs off to go be boarded, because I like to take them the afternoon before so I don't have to worry about it in the morning, which that was a whole fiasco in itself. because
Mhm.
my dog Roxy, I adopted her and I adopted Loki. Loki was a puppy when we got him. Roxy,
Loki's the bestest boy.
he really is. He's a really good boy. Solid black with a little bit of white, German Shepherd, like big boy. He looks like a werewolf in the middle of the night. But I adopted both of them. Don't know what their background is, don't know where her background was, but something wrong up here. More so than just normal German Shepherd anxiety stuff. She took to me. Anyways, that's my dog. She's schizo. She's very reactive with other people.
Alice's dog is crazy.
Who would have thought? Who would have thought? But once she gets in her, like, if you meet her when she's with me, she's the most shy, timid, chill dog. Like, she's calm. There's nothing wrong with her. But if she goes in her kennel, as soon as the door shuts on her, she's like, "Rah!" and scares everybody in their living mind. Because if she does connect with you, she's going to hurt you. And the vet was having dramas with him, so much so that we have had to start giving her medication to get her to calm down while she's there. And it's not working. They're giving her more than her body is like. I mean, and they're not doing this dangerously, obviously, but they're having to up her dosage because she's just like, ah. So we had this whole discussion, and I don't like the chief of staff that works there or whatever he's called, but he was like, well, if she doesn't calm down this time, she's going to have to go somewhere else. And I was like, well, dude, we could have had this conversation like a month ago. We could have had this conversation whenever.
Not when we're dropping them off.
Not when I'm dropping them off. Like, what do you want me to do? I leave tomorrow morning. I can't go find some other place for them to go. This is the point. Having this conversation right now is just pissing me off. Like, you could have had this conversation when they got booked. I've been like, I get it. Totally fine. I'll go find something else. I cannot go find somebody else after most places have already closed. And you're telling me this is going to be an absolute disaster. But your vet techs are like, I got it. I'm cool with it. And I'm like, who am I talking to? Who's taking care of the dogs? Are you taking care of the dogs this weekend? No, she is. She and I are on the same page. Me and her are on the same page. You can just exit stage left because you're making me mad. Wes was like, okay, we need to go. Like, because Mary's starting to get like, she's going to slap you. I get it. It's a reactive dog. He has to protect his staff. But don't tell me the day that I'm dropping them off. Let's have that talk. And then when we go to pick them up.
Oh, she's great.
She was great this week. No issues with her at all. Cool. Probably still going to take her somewhere else because I don't like how your dude talked to me. But anyway, so we were dealing with that too. And then we finally get the trailer loaded. We go to bed. You guys are chatting like crazy. Whoa. So much is happening. Hey, David. Welcome. Hi, Duncan. Duncan's here. He said, I'm not allowed to answer this week. You should be busy using all that free stuff, right? Always learning. It was a great show. Enjoyed your session Saturday afternoon. Yeah, we got to see Bayan. Thanks, Bayan. Which power rapper is a good one to start and keep for life? The G2? I like the G2. The G2 is going to continue to be updated. Let's just put it that way. Motor's good. Going to have updates.
It will have product support long time.
Not to say that the Alps is bad. Alps has been around for years, but I just don't think the Alps, in my opinion, holds up to what the G2 can do long term. CPW is completely out of the equation now because they don't even make the parts for it anymore, so it doesn't matter about that one. Pac Bay's gone. Like, I mean, that's pretty much it.
And then the Renzetti, but
you got the Renzetti. I don't have any info on the Renzetti. The Renzetti is drop a whole lot of money into it right off the bat. But I'm always going to say the G2. You've got reverse and forward motor on that one, and there's going to be a lot of support. Was a good way to phrase that. Wes's face says it all. All right, so we get through all that. We drop the boys off Friday morning for school. We leave. Winston-Salem for us is only an hour and a half away. Cool. Like, and this is the closest trip we have for anything. One of the reasons why we love it. Two, it's not so stressful because any other place we'd have to be down there Thursday, in order for it to make it work. But we get there around like 10 or 11.
We got there right about 11.
Yeah, because we had to stop at your dad's house to drop off the kids' stuff. But it took us 6 hours to set up the booth, which that's the longest it's ever taken us, and that was all because of me. Because Mary decided to make the booth look like Alice in Wonderland this year. So I had bought all this greenery and this lights to hang up on the backside of it, and we brought a TV so the podcast could be playing on. We had 8 hours of podcast just playing with subtitles that I did the night before.
Which, speaking of, I meant to tell you, I don't think it played the entire 8 hours. I think it did an hour and then repeated itself.
I'll have to look into it, but it had 8 hours on it.
I know, and it said 8 hours, but it never went all the way.
I'll have to look into it. It might be just the TV itself. But we had that on up there playing in case anybody wanted to kind of watch that. We had a bunch of tables sitting in front of us there, so it was like they could sit down and chill. So anybody that was there at least had something to watch and read. I had teacups in the booth. I had all the kinds of Alice in Wonderland sayings, and just I had decorated a few things here and there, but then had the rest of the stuff with rod building supplies. Oh, and I brought some bags that I was trying to get rid of, that I've been trying to get rid of for like years now, and some clothes. Managed to get through a lot of those because I was only selling them for like $5 a piece. Like, just take them, you know.
And the scroll saw.
Scroll saw went. Nobody bought the scroll saw. Nobody wanted it. So the scroll saw's back, but it's on the bottom shelf, and we're still trying to sell it. Used once. Anybody wants a Win scroll saw? It's a really good scroll saw. I just don't need it. Shipping's just going to be a nightmare, so you'd have to meet me at an event or drive. One of the two. And we did have help unloading, because I think for us, it's a lot different for me and Wes coming to these shows and stuff, because it's just us. It's just us. We don't have a team. There's nobody else that helps. It's just us. So, you know, you got all these major companies that show up, like Mud Hole. There's like 6 or 7 people that are attached to that. There's 6 or 7 people.
4.
Well, no, they had more than that this year, didn't they?
It was Bob, Hunter, Jack, and Caleb.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, because Durwood and Todd were doing the Lamb of Gas booth. But they have 4, but everything is already like preloaded for them, and they just have to kind of like roll it out, you know, like all the blanks are in the things. And yes, when you've been traveling around, you've got that stuff set up. Somebody has set that up for you. Then you got HFF. They're rolling the stuff off of the things, but there's
big carts that
big
just
carts
open,
that
and
open
it's hung.
and it's folded. You know, like they've done this. The professionals at this, and they've got the team for it. They got the money for the stuff that they have. You know, and Reggie's got like a 6-person crew that rolls all their stuff into the thing. And then there's me and Wes trying to unload our trailer with all of our heavy stuff.
Tables.
But everybody, as soon as we got to the unloading area, Reggie, Al Engling, Dan O'Kane, a whole bunch of people came and started like just carrying stuff back and forth for us. And I was just like, oh, you guys are a blessing. I love you. Thank you. Mud Hole let us use their pallet jack to haul stuff back and forth, which made it super easy unloading. Plus, everybody helping other people unload gets more people able to come in there to get their stuff out too. So it's, you know, useful for everybody to kind of work together. But it took us 6 hours to get the booth set up.
Yeah.
Which is one of the reasons why I was like, we have got to get there on like early as much as possible, because I had no idea how long it was going to take to set up. I knew it was going to take a while, because the things that I had wanted to already have done, I ran out of time and couldn't do them beforehand. So it was like, all right, we got to figure this out. It is what it is. It's how it happens every year. But we finally got all that stuff done. We checked into the hotel room, which thankfully Hilton is awesome, because we don't have to go to the front desk anymore. We just check in on the app and get our room key. We pick our room. We get our electronic entry. Like, all I have to do is hold my phone up to the thing now, and it unlocks the door. And I'm like, thank the Lord.
Yeah, because what I had to deal with front desk.
Well, what was it, 2 years ago?
Yeah.
2 years ago, the computer crashed or something, and there was like 50 people trying to check in all at the same time. And everybody, like, I think Bob had been there trying to get into the hotel room for like
4 hours.
4 hours, and they couldn't do anything about it. And, you know, it's not staff's fault, but, you know, people trying to get their stuff into their rooms and chill, and they're like, but yeah, so it was real easy. We drug our stuff up there, and then we had our vendor meetup, which is basically, it's vendor social, I think is what it's called. And all the vendors can kind of get together and hang out and chat and kind of basically shoot the shit before, you know, the chaos of the weekend starts. And that's always nice because we get like 2 free drinks, and then everything after that's cash, and you just kind of piddle around for a few hours, and then we go downstairs and get our free drinks downstairs, and eventually crash after hanging out with friends and seeing everybody till like somewhere between 11 and 12. I think when we went to bed that night, didn't we? Or was it later? I don't remember a Friday night because we ended up going out to eat. Was it Friday? Yeah, Friday night we went out to eat dinner with Mudhole, and we had whiskey before we went, and I had tequila while I was at the restaurant, and I remember the restaurant, but I vaguely remember after that.
What time do you think it was?
I thought it was like 12. What was it?
1:30.
No, that's not bad. That's not passed out on the floor like the previous year. Like that's the first time we hadn't been without the kids. Mary was drinking. Mary got a lot of drinks, but it was fine. Love your work. What's your favorite style of rod to make? Surf rods, offshore rods, big rods. Those are my favorite. I use G2 to make cork grip support for Mudhole is great. Yeah, G2 is good at this turning stuff. It can handle turning. That's why I always suggest that one because it does. I put it through the ringer a few times with sanding things. I'm going to get one of those things to meet you and Wes in person before I die, I hope. Well, we can talk about it. It's already kind of officially been soft launched, just not details. The June.
That's on the website.
Is it? Yeah, that's
think
what I thought. Because the advanced classes for the Mudhole have been moved from their normal October time period to June this year, in the hopes that more people can come and don't have to worry about scheduling because of their children in school and everything. So June, it's on the website. I believe it's the 13th weekend.
I'll tell you, hold on.
They're doing it on Friday and Saturday, nothing on that Sunday.
June 12th and 13th.
So the advanced classes will be June 12th and 13th. So that's one. July is ICAST for us, and then August we're going to try to get to Foley because they moved everything around, so we probably will be able to get Foley this year. So that is Anglers Resource Events. Well, I think it's in Orange Beach.
Yeah.
Not Foley. I keep calling it Foley because it was originally in Foley, but it's in Orange Beach. But Anglers Resources put information out on that, and we're going to try to get to that one now that we aren't going to have to take the kids out of school twice. So we'll see. That was the lead up to everything, and as chaotic as it was, we did make it and we had fun. But before we get into how Saturday rolled out for us, we're going to take a minute and I want to say thank you to Mudhole and Foundation Outdoor Group for being our sponsors. You guys need to go on their website and you need to check out all of their new hats, new apparel, their reels, tackle, all the new stuff that's dropped, and some of the items, anything that is American Tackle, Gaho Reel Seats, CRB, Pro Products, or... Oh, I'm forgetting one.
Gaho?
I thought I said Gaho Reel Seats. Any of the American Tackle, Pro Products, CRB... MHX, that's the one I forgot. And the Gaho Seats, I forgot MHX, sorry. But any of that, you can use my discount code MChristy10 until the end of the month. Until the end of the month.
Yep, till the end of the month.
April starts a new one, so you got till the end of the month to use that discount code on all of those brands, and it'll give you 10% off.
And that's CHRISTY
10.
Because I know when she edits this, the little words down at the bottom of the screen will spell it wrong. So
I haven't been using captions on the actual ones. I just did it for the show. But Wes can even wear the hats that they have now, because they got special hats for him.
Big-headed fools like me.
But their hats look really good, and we've got some of their new t-shirts. We just don't have them tonight.
And
they're super soft.
There are new rod building products, and more trickling.
Mm-hmm.
But if you go to the main homepage, scroll down, you'll see a section that says new rod building products, and then a little side piece that says shop all new rod building. Click that. Look around.
You're going to be amazed at all the new stuff they've got coming out. So Saturday, hold on. I'll ever come down to Texas. Juan, we have not been to Texas yet.
Last time I was in Texas, it was too hot.
Well, that wasn't for rod building, though.
No, that was to repossess
that was
turf
repoing.
equipment.
under the influence of alcohol at ICRB. Yeah, alcohol is always involved at ICRBE. Everybody's drinking. Because you get 2 free drinks at the Hilton from 5 to 5:30.
2 per person per night.
2 free drinks. Obviously, you don't ever stop at 2, but it was like, yeah. And then we had free drinks upstairs, free drinks downstairs, and then tequila got mixed in, and then back to whiskey. So it was like, woohoo! So we get up Saturday morning. Saturday's first opening opened at 8 o'clock. And this year was the first time Dave had sold tickets online. And that was not kind of cool because you didn't have to really wait. And a lot of times you had to get there to get in line, and people would rush as soon as the doors opened to go, to like places like Mudhole and Reggie and HFF and buy all their stuff that they have on their sales and everything. And there's always show sales where they're trying to get rid of stock, or just, hey, you're here, we're going to give you a little off because thanks for coming.
Mm-hmm. And this year, Mudhole brought the 9-foot one pieces that are so expensive to ship. And they only had like 10 or 15 left out of the entire stock.
It moved them. But that's what you do, because then you don't have to worry about shipping them. You just drive home with your blanks. But outside, after the doors opened, it was about 2 hours, pretty steady line of people coming in. There was no like whoosh to the floor, or at least from what we could see, because we actually were facing the wall. We were on the backside. I was joking all weekend that we were the ugly redheaded stepchild that we got punished and put in the corner just because we were facing the wall. And that's the first time we've ever been on that side of the room too.
Mm-hmm.
Because usually we're somewhere like in the middle, or somewhere where all traffic is coming through. But what was really funny is that there was an empty space beside us, and Dave was like, hey, do you just want to move your lathe over there? And I'm like, yes, I'd love to keep all the dirty stuff on that side. That'd be great. And I would be vacuuming up every 10 minutes. So we ended up having like 3 booth spaces. The lathe basically sat there like a little trophy all weekend, because I only got to crank it up once. I didn't get to do it again. But I had my first seminar at 10 o'clock. Well, I had my first learning center session at 10. And I had a seminar at 2. So I was prepping for those, talking with people. Everybody's coming through. We're selling. We're moving a lot of EVA and talking with people and helping them answer questions. I had a lot of people just stopping by saying thanks for doing the videos and stuff. And I go to Learning Center to get set up for the marbling class that I was teaching. And y'all, when I tell you that it was an absolute shit show, I am not even kidding. So HFF sponsored the Learning Center this year. And Mudhole sent it. I don't know if I'm sure other people did, but I just know HFF and Mudhole did. But broken blank pieces were sent in so people could use them to do stuff with. Cool. We had wrappers for each person to work with. I had requested for pigments to be sent, epoxy to be sent, and the Flex Coat color preserver, because I figured this was going to be the easiest way to control the environment. I brought my little syringe with my Flex Coat CP with me for me to use. But then when I started to teach the class, I quickly realized, oh crap, we only have 3 sets of epoxy for a room full of like 30 people. And they're all wanting to do the marbling. And I'm like, how are we supposed to, oh Lord, we got to dose this stuff. So I'm having to walk around and help them like move the bottles through and dosing bottles. And so the mechanics of me trying to figure out how I'm supposed to teach this many people within a 45-minute window and getting all the stuff in their hands when we only have certain amounts of the supplies was an absolute mental break. Like I was just going, ugh, but I was mic'd up. So I'm walking around cracking jokes left and right because I gotta make them laugh, because there's people over here that have been waiting that have already got their stuff, and I haven't even got back over here to this side. So having a few assistants would have been great, even with just the lack of, it'd have been fine. If I thought about it, I would have prepped their bottles or their epoxy ahead of time. That would have saved a lot of stuff, but we got through it. But what was bad was the CP. So I brought my syringe, right? And apparently I forgot to clean it before I put it in the bag. So it was clogged up. And I'm going around to 30 people, dropping 10 drops of color preserver in each of their cups. and my syringe isn't pulling. Like I'd pull it and it slapped back down because it was like clogged on the end. And so I'm like having to force it, you know, and I'm ad-libbing as I'm going along. I'm also trying to fill them in with like some other info and stuff, like trying to keep the flow of it moving. Anybody that was in that class, thank you for just sitting there and not walking out, because I just felt like it was just like, you know. But by the end of the time that I got around, the last few people just started pouring it. I was eyeballing it because my hands were covered in color preserver from where I was trying to get it out of the bottle. I look like, you know how we used to.
Why don't you just take the time to clean it out real quick?
I didn't
like,
have
take the 30 seconds
I
to
didn't
go.
have the acetone because I didn't bring it over there. You had it at the booth, and I couldn't call you and be like, "Hey, by the way, I did it," because I was just in the middle of teaching mode. Like I just was not thinking about it. You know how we used to put Elmer's glue on our hands and like let it dry? That's what my hands look like. Both hands were absolutely covered in color preserver from it like leaking and me trying to not make a mess on other people.
Jeez.
But we did marbling, but when it clicked that this was not going to work because none of them had power wrappers. And I teach with a power wrapper, and I'm like, so I told them, hey, have fun, do some doodles. This is your Bob Ross moment. Like, you know, just happy little spots, happy little strings, see what happens, you know, like have fun with it, right? And then I proceeded to do a demo with mine, but mine had sat for so long that it was like paste. And so I was like, this is not what it's supposed to look like, but here's kind of the attempt at it. Here's the technique. And then I showed them the videos of things that it should do and where to go find said techniques. And this is what it's supposed to look like. So anybody that was in that marbling class, I was just like, I am so sorry. I was not processing getting into that moment how much work it was going to be to do that many people at once. And I don't think anybody would have thought about it, because this first year that we're doing that, we're doing all these hands-on, we have all these setups and stuff, and it would have been great to had a couple assistants to kind of walk around and dose cups, or for me to have already prepped some stuff. Because I told him, I said, hey guys, just come up here and grab 2 colors, and I ran out of pigments. So I had to start going into my own personal stash and handing them out to people. And I was like, oh crap, we still don't have enough. I got to have 2. So I put 2 to the side for me. Then I was like, hey, y'all gonna have to share. Hope you're friends with the person sitting beside you, you know. Welcome to art class. We're about to make some mess. And like, it was so bad.
Jeez.
But that's one of those, now we know, and I was telling Dave, now we know that for a marbling demo, unless there's an excessive amount of supplies, that's one where they just need to sit and watch, because it's just too much. Too much or have assistants or have extra people, have help.
Yeah. Staging and
somehow get it staged properly, because that was just too much. You know, learn as you go. I mean, that's all we could do, because this first year running the learning center the way that he did this year, and marbling was never a previous one, so there was no of that like hands-on kind of stuff. So it was funny. They learned some stuff. They were like, what do we do with them? And I'm like, well, unless you want to walk around turning your blank and telling people not to touch you, I would just leave them, because I don't know if there's extras of these, so you can't really take it with you unless you just really want to. I just need to know who takes them so that I know how many I need to replace. Sure, there's extra ones around here somewhere. And everybody chose to leave them, right? So after everybody leaves, I go back to the booth, I get the acetone, start cleaning off all this stuff. But, you know, the epoxy had set up so much that it took me 20 minutes to clean all these blanks, right? It set up so much, none of them dripped. Not a single one of them dripped. And they're not spinning, they're just sitting in the little hand wrappers that were there. And some of them had stuck them, like just put them all on the same one together. And they were so stuck together, like when I went to pull them apart, there was like cheese. It was like a cheese pull. It was, I was so glad that there was nobody coming in behind me, because that would have been like, you're going to have to work with like marbling all over the place.
Good luck. Bye.
Deuces. I made a mess. Have fun. Don't touch it. It was quite hilarious. But I got back to the booth and I looked at him and I was like, okay, yeah, we got to modify that next time, because that was crazy. But we ate lunch because I wasn't feeling good. I had ate breakfast, but apparently my body was burning it faster than I was able to keep up because I guess my blood sugar dropped or something. I felt like I was going to vomit all during while I was cleaning the blanks and stuff and talking to Dave. I was just like, I don't feel right. Get some food. And so we ordered Jimmy John's, which, fun fact, Jimmy John's will deliver to the convention center. Saved our butts the whole weekend. That's what we had for lunch every day.
Mm-hmm.
It's actually pretty good. I stopped drinking 16 years ago, July, because I just couldn't have two. I understand that statement, David. Congratulations to you, though. That's awesome. You were not feeling good Saturday. Now I know why. Yeah, I was not. It wasn't because if it was because of how much I drank the night before, it would have been in the morning. And Wes will attest to this. I will wake up and vomit immediately if it's because of that. I was fine. I was totally fine. I had no issues. I was hungry. I drank my coffee. Drinking water, I was drinking Diet Coke, not an issue, and then all of a sudden it was like, bleh, like I did not feel good. Ate some food, I was fine. So, why are you looking like that? What you got to say?
None.
Go on,
None.
say it. That side eye is trying to say something. Did you side eye? I know I was a little hungover, but for me to go from a full fine and then like that's not because
But
of
that's
alcohol.
full fine with
That's
a
not the alcohol.
hangover and then chemicals.
Yeah, well, you think the acetone was what did it?
Mhm.
Smelling the acetone,
The acetone and the chemicals from
the epoxy.
the epoxy and the pigments and
It's because I soaked all the CP into my skin when it was all over me.
leached into your
It
blood.
leached into my blood. Apparently, color preserver and alcohol don't mix. Anyways, so the next big thing I had Saturday was the seminar, which the way it was set up this year, we had Learning Center A and Learning Center B. They were on like this side of the hallway, which I was closest to because I had 4, which is why we were in the back corner.
Mm-hmm.
He did it that way so that I wouldn't have to run all the way across the expo. But then on the other side, the seminar room was over there, which this year we were in the normal area we had been, not last year, the year before, our normal area we are, the big area. And then up the ramp, part of the area last year was part of the expo too. So he had expanded the floor plan. And up that ramp was more tables to sit at, which until the seminar, I hadn't even been over there. I had no idea what was going on over there. I walked in there and I was like, whoa, there's a lot of tables in here. There was like 50 tables with chairs, like for people just to sit and chill. And then there's seminars. And he put a stage, which was the funny thing to me, that there was a stage for you to stand on for the seminars. But he had put us on a panel, put me on a panel with Tom Kirkman and Michael Ward, and wanted to talk about themed rods. And I thought, this is crazy. Like, I'm excited to talk about themed rods, but a panel with Tom Kirkman, like, this is nuts. So Tom was late. I had to go chase him down. Couldn't find him. We started without him, and then he was like, sorry. And we had to pass around a mic because the other mics, the little thing had died because the battery was left on all day, which was fine. And David was in there with us, and he was asking us some questions about themed rods. And, you know, it was just like, you know, what inspires you? How do you get involved? Where do you get your color screens from? And, like, people were asking us questions and stuff. And I can't remember if it was David that asked or if it was one of the people that were in the seminar. They said, do you think imitation is the highest form of flattery? And we all have our chance to answer, right? And Michael went first because he had the mic. And, you know, basically it was like, yeah, you can kind of understand why somebody would want to imitate it, you know. Yeah, it's kind of like flattery, but you really should be trying to do your own thing, blah, 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 you know. And that's basically what everybody was agreeing on to. And when I answered, because I had time to think about it, you know, it wasn't like an immediate got to pop off with something. I said, yeah, it is. Now, people are going to take this 2 different ways. Somebody that's directly copying you, thread for thread, piece of EVA per piece of EVA, you know, piece like court, everything looks identical. Yeah, we got a little bit of a problem, you know. But somebody, you have to start somewhere, right? And a lot of times people see something, they like it, they love it, they want it, they try to make it, and they want it to look like what they fell in love with. And I can understand why somebody would go piece per piece or thread for thread or whatever we're talking about and try to imitate it because they want to try to learn how to do it. I said, I get that. And in doing so, sure, you got to figure it out. You got to practice it, right? You got to figure out how to do it. So some people can't visualize different colors in different spots for it to look the same. They got to see it exactly how they saw it. So sure, couple of your first few trying to figure something out, I can understand it looking exactly like what you were trying to do.
Right.
But it becomes, after you figured it out, now you need to put your own twist on it. So in theory, yes, imitation is the biggest form of flattery, but we don't want to copy. We want to take an idea and kind of expand upon it. And I had a couple people walk up to me afterwards and they were like, you know what? I really liked your answer. I really enjoyed that because I do have a problem visualizing different stuff than what I see, which is why my decorative wrap courses have wraps that I cut off, and I'll never do the exact same color palette for another customer because I teach people to use my colors.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the threads. Here's the shade. Here's this. And if I know other people are going to do it, I'm not selling that to a customer. So none of those wraps for those courses are ever for a customer. So it's not like I'm recording as I'm building because I don't want to give away what I'm giving to my customer, that exact wrap, because I know somebody else is going to wrap it the exact same way. I'll give you that pattern with a different color palette, do it something else for the customer. I don't ever want my customers to have a duplicate running around out there. But that's just kind of how I answered it. And then they were asking, like, where do you find colors? And both Mike and Tom were like, well, nature's great, you know, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, have you guys taken a look at y'all's socks before? Your men's socks, your ties, like Hawaiian shirts. Have y'all ever just looked at your clothes? Like, those are colors that go together, you know? Tom was talking about, like, brand colors. Yeah, they pay them. Mike's talking about the color wheel. And I'm like, yeah, you can do that. I don't do that. And everybody laughed. I said, I don't have time to educate myself on the color wheel. I don't care about the color wheel. I understand it. It's a great tool. I get it. I don't use it. And you can kind of hear both of them kind of like, what? And I'm like, you can go on the internet and Google color palettes, red color schemes. Somebody else that's been to school for color knowledge has put a color palette together for me. I don't have to do all that extra stuff. I just take that color palette and go, thank you, I'm going to use that.
And pull the colors I want out of it.
Pull the colors out of it, change it around a little bit. I don't have to sit there and do a color wheel and spin it and go, is this going to work? Is that going to work? What about that color? I don't do that, you know. I find a shirt, I see a tie, I see something on the internet I like, randomly sneak photos of people with their shirts that I like, hiding behind clotheslines so they don't go like, why are you taking pictures of me? I just want to take a picture of your shirt because I like colors on it.
She's a creeper.
I am a little bit of a creeper whenever I find a color palette I like. I'm like, oh, I like that. And I'm like, turn and run really quickly because I don't want to be confronted by somebody like, why are you taking pictures of me? It's just for your shirt, I promise. But that seminar was really fun, especially to talk about like how did Hulkbuster come to be and the inspiration behind it. And I'm like, look, if you really want to know all the things that are going on in here, we're gonna need a lot more time to sit down and talk about everything.
Just a little bit.
And then there was a lady, she asked a few questions, but she primarily built fly rods. And she was asking, she presented the question, what should you not put on a fly rod, right? And so Tom had them.
You know what you should have said?
What?
Go to the New Zealanders.
Right. Don't talk to them. Tom had the mic, right? And so Tom goes on that generic, well, you know, you should really just be doing like, you know, feather inlays and stuff. It's super simple because most guys aren't doing this, blah, blah, blah. She pipes in, cuts him off. She's like, they're for me. I'm not selling them. He goes, do what you want. When it came for me to answer, I said, I need to know more. What weights are you using? Because that matters more than what can you not do. And she's like 5, 8, 10s. And I was like, cool. 8s and 10s, have fun. Don't do extremely long wraps on the 8. The 5, I might not do anything but a feather inlay on that one. Your 10, have fun with it. Just don't marble the whole rod. Don't do that. And she's like, oh, okay, cool. But I'm like, I'm not answering, like, what weight are you building? You know, like, because that matters more than the genre of fly
rods. Are we talking 2 weights or 12s?
Yeah. 12 weight, have fun, do whatever you want to. A 2 weight, just put thread on it. Wrap the guides.
Just wrapping. You may not even want thread. Just glue the guides on and coat them.
Like, so that one, and then Mike brought up the jelly bean rod because that was one of the ones that was on the slide, and he blamed me for that idea. He said it's Mary's fault because I was talking to her about it, and she was like, "Why don't you put jelly beans in it?"
Why don't you put eggs in it? Why don't you put jelly beans in it?
I know, and
You're
everybody was giggling, and I was like, "I know, I'm the problem."
You're definitely a problem.
I am, because I start talking to people and my brain goes into that design mode, and I'm like, well, what about this? And then it gets them in trouble, or it gets me in trouble. Did Wes get a tattoo? We got tattoos. I don't know if you can see it or not. We got tattoos. It's his first tattoo. I used your fish wrap because I liked it. It taught me a lot. Good. I bet Alice's therapist has a therapist.
Here's the problem with that. So, Alice's therapist has a therapist.
That has a therapist.
See the problem?
Oh man. Alice and Mary go back and forth. There's definitely a whole lot of period like fighting with each other, but it's fun in my head. Wes hates when we start talking about it, but
I don't hate it. I just tell you to put Alice back in the box and focus.
He does do that to me a lot.
You have shit to do. Put her up.
Put Alice in timeout. Back in your box. Back in your box.
Get out of the shop. No, you have things to finish.
Focus, Mary.
You can't go off in whimsical land. Stop.
It's like Moon Knight. I need the good one, not that one. But and I picked up these awesome earrings, brook trout earrings from Josie's Gift. They have some really cool ones. I got silver ones last year, but I saw the brook trout and I had to get them. And I stopped over there and said hey to Dan, and I gave him his receipt from Christmas that you both swore I was going to forget, and I was like, I brought him. But that was his Secret Santa gift that we did in the Southern Rod Builders. And I chatted with him for a little bit and saw how everything was going for him. And he told me the story about the lady that got my rod, which was really funny because she saw the rods and said she wanted that one, and then all of a sudden she won that one, so it was kind of hilarious. And but yeah, they have these little earrings that if you purchase them, it's basically the donation or the cost goes straight to the Josie's Gift. So I sent him $25 from PayPal to do some stuff with. Not a whole lot of money, but I was like, I got expenses to pay, but when I get back, we'll chat. But always fun to hang out with him and talk with him about stuff. And they invited us to come to the Michigan Rod Builders event. I don't think we're going to be able to pull that. I wish we could just travel to all these events. Honestly, it'd be so much fun to just travel.
It'd be great
around.
if somebody just paid us to travel around.
Right, travel around. Well, we'd have to do something with the dogs and the kids, but I guess the kids would have to be homeschooled.
I mean, I could take my dog with us. My dog wouldn't be a problem.
Your dog and Zoe would be fine. Roxy's the problem. Unless I'm with her 24/7, but I just can't have that dog attached to me 24/7. I need a break from her too. She's a lot.
I think when you send Roxy to Mark.
Roxy just needs some training. But let's talk about the product of the night. Boop. Which is this inletting tool. Greatest tool I have ever come across as far as doing the inlets. What?
I think about all the ways that most people use this tool, and then the way that Mary uses this tool. And it's not the way most people use this tool.
It's really not.
So it's obviously designed as an inletting tool to inlet the reel seat into the grip, as that picture showed.
Works great.
Mary inlets the hoods into very thin EVA and then glues it on.
Yeah, so the naked hoods, as I call them,
Unihood.
Unilock hood. Yeah, that's the official name. I call them the naked hoods because they don't have anything on them. But I make little pieces of EVA, a little itty-bitty block of EVA to cover that, or you can take cork and do it, but you can use the inletting tool to bore it out. And it's the straightest, easiest way. If you're doing it for the hoods, the only thing is be low, be slow, don't be in a rush about that. And about halfway through, it's going to feel like it's starting to get like kind of dicey, because it is. You need...
It's
It
Getting
is
really close to your finger.
No, because if you're doing EVA, I haven't tried it with cork yet, but if you're doing with EVA, the EVA is starting to do this number, and it can go off really fast because the EVA is trying to stretch as it's getting cut. So what I do is I turn the EVA around, I punch in from the side that hasn't been punched in, but to stabilize the EVA, I stick the hood in the part that's already been cut. So it'll punch through straight, and I have never had an issue with it like wavering off or doing anything crazy. So it's definitely safer than, I wouldn't have attempted to do anything like that prior without that tool. So if you don't have one, use my discount code and get one. The other thing was Saturday night, we also had the Rod Maker Gala. And that's the night the West is always the saltiest because Mr. West has never won anything in like 20 years.
So I've won twice now,
Yep.
technically speaking. The first time
Oh, for pity.
was Who's Been Here and Never Won. And I got a set of Archie's cedar handles.
That was this time.
No, that was that time too. Let me get there. And then, the cedar handles are great, but they're not something we could use for any of our builds because the rear grip's only like 8 inches.
Yeah, it's little.
So I always end up giving it to like a new builder that's there or a kid. First year I gave it to a kid, but that was a consolation for never having won anything. And then this year it was who's been to every event. Another Archie's rod handle. So I gave it to a builder at the table.
And I won a blank, and I couldn't use a blank for anything that we would normally do. So we started looking there. We had heard previously, because you couldn't see her from where we were.
No.
Because we'd heard that the youngest one there was 7 years old this year. And we started trying to find the 7-year-old. We got up and started walking around, and we wouldn't have found her. Like, she's adorable, but she's a tiny 7-year-old. Like, I'm used to seeing he's 10 now, but our 6-year-old's bigger than she is.
Yeah, well, he's a freak of nature.
I know, he's massive, but I gave her the blank because I was like, and her dad, and I recognized her as soon as they were like, she's over there. They were in my marbling class, and they had been, she turned around, and I was chatting with her because she was like, she's staring at me, and you could see on her face that she kind of recognized who I was, and Dad's telling her, hey, we watch her videos, that's the lady that you like, and she's like, you don't look the same. And I was like, I probably had blonde hair. And she's like, yeah, what happened? I said, I got bored.
Alice.
I changed it, and she's like, I like it. I was like, okay, good. I'm glad the 7-year-old, I'm glad I passed your judgment. Thank you, doll, and just chit-chatting with her or whatever. And she started marbling. She started having fun. She was making all kinds of stuff. And I handed her the blank. You gave her the blank. And then I walked up and I was like, oh yeah. And Dad was like, oh my God, thank you, blah, blah, blah. And she turns around, she sees me, and she's holding the blank. I mean, it reminded me of that scene from the Minions movie, the first one, where she wins the unicorn. It's so fluffy. But she was like, it's so awesome. Like, she was shaking it and everything. And I was like, she's like, I love it so much. And I was like, I'm so glad that you love the blank, like, oh, I'm so happy for you. And I told Dad, I was like, if you guys got questions about anything, like, feel free to reach out. Not a problem. And I've seen him on the page throughout Facebook. And I'm like, okay, I just want to keep tabs and just make sure that she's, if y'all need assistance with anything, just let me know.
Mm-hmm.
But she's like, I love it so much. And it was a Hunter Green Rod Geeks blank, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just great for whatever she needed it for. But she was so excited about it. And the other thing that's really cool, so the Taylor boys, they're some of the original 7 kids that was in my booth a few years ago. They've taken to rod building and are addicted. Okay, they are building, making their dad mad because they're not putting the shop back the way it was.
Which, when y'all hear this, if he has to call me again and fuss about y'all not putting stuff back, I will come up there.
Your auntie and your uncle are going to be upset because this is like the fourth, fifth time that he's had to fuss at y'all about that. Just put his stuff back because we're tired of getting our ears chewed off about it. Put his stuff back. But I'm like, dude, I feel you. I can't get them to throw a napkin away for like much less put a reamer back where it was. But what was hilarious was, they were in the drawers for the lathes. They put everything back. They didn't leave anything out.
They put everything back where it should be.
So I have the lathe there. The lathe's got the reamers. It's got a power drill. I brought it just in case, which I just had this tuition. Apparently, bring that. There was another little boy that came into the expo. They were hand turning.
Battery died.
Oh well. They were hand turning it. Give him something. Give him some forearm strength. But there was another little boy that came in. He's not super young.
So this kid.
10-ish.
Did you not hear the backstory about this kid?
All I heard was he was upstairs and Dad sent him downstairs.
No, this kid's sister was upstairs at the cheerleading competition.
Okay.
Him and Dad were just walking around because they didn't want to be in cheerleading competition anymore.
Fair enough.
So they were just walking around seeing what was going on. Well, Dad saw the expo, and then Taylor Boys saw him and said, hey, well, you want to come in and look? And Dad was like, well, I can't. I've got to get back. But if you want to, here's my credit card. Go get what you need to build.
I heard that part. I just didn't know that they had seen. Okay, yeah. So they start taking this boy around, picking up blanks, picking up grips, picking up real seats.
And all he had to do was go back home and glue everything up because they'd already reamed it to fit. Glue everything up, and wrap the guides, and put epoxy on, and he was good.
And they came over to the booth. They're like, hey, Mary, do you have this? Hey, do you have this? And I'm like, yeah, it's over there in the lathe. And they were over there in the dirty space. We called it the turning center for the weekend because that was just hilarious. But they went over there. They were reaming the grips and asking for stuff. And I'm like, yeah, it's there. Yeah, here's, and I was watching all this stuff like moving around. And I'm like, oh, God, it's like, I know y'all. Put it back, please put it back. Because if I have to go home and I'm like, I'm missing like 3 rolls of this. Where did this go?
Where's my tiny reamer?
Where's my reamers? Me and Jared are going to have a conversation, but they put everything back. And I mean, they didn't vacuum up, which I wouldn't expect them to do that because I didn't even vacuum up the EVA it turned that morning because I was like, oh yeah, I forgot about that. But they had this boy completely outfitted with a build by the time that he left. And they came back the next day and walked around. I think him and Dad did.
Which, they're in Georgetown.
Oh, well, that's super close. Come see us. But that's what the expo has been for the last few years is we always try to find the kids and kind of get them, either give them something that's been given to us or somehow get them, initiated. And I love that the Taylor boys are taking that initiative and doing the same thing. Because both those boys are building some awesome rods. Sister just did her first one. Looks great. She showed it to me. She was very proud of her rod. I was like, it's very pretty. Good job. She's younger. But that's the awesome part about it. And then like they started, obviously they walked around to the other vendors and stuff. And I'm sure that he got a bunch of free stuff. Swag, because the whole point is get these kids involved because they're the next generation. And it's always better to be playing around with tackle boxes than X boxes, get them out of the house, get them doing something, put them back in nature. So that's always the fun thing. And I just love that they picked that up from me sharing what I knew. I'm not taking credit for all of it. Obviously, it's parents' world too, but just the fact that I kind of gave them a little, here's the addiction.
Right.
Run with it, and then Mom and Dad have nurtured it so much so that they're like, oh yeah, hey, you want to do this? Let's go get you started, So after we got out of the gala, we chilled on drinking that night, but we did go to bed a little bit earlier. But we did hang out with some friends downstairs, and then Sunday morning, I still had 2 more classes in the Learning Center. And my 10 a.m. was the EVA, talking about how to use the Cricut to make the EVA stuff, and that was fine. Just walked them through how I use the Cricut, how I make the designs and stuff, how fast it cuts it, how slow it cuts it, depending on the designs, how to glue them together, all the little tips and tricks that I learned over the years on how to do the things, using mandrels to roll them. And I was like, just keep in mind, when you go to sand these things, you do not have as much room as you think. and you will burn through them really fast. And gave them all the options of how to cut the stuff. If they didn't want to go buy a Cricut, they could do it by hand. They could do it with a razor blade. They could do it with an X-Acto knife. You know, you could do it with a scroll saw. Got one for sale. Like I kept bringing. Like, come buy this.
Somebody buy this.
Somebody get this. Somebody come take this home. Somebody come get this thing. The other one I had was decorative wraps in the afternoon, and that was the one class that I walked into without a plan, and I hate doing that. Wes will tell you, I stress about what should I talk about, what should I talk about, what should I talk about for like 2-3 weeks leading up to it. And I walked in there kind of going, okay. The day before, I got wiped out of my white paint markers. No more paint pens. No more white ones.
It's Haywood's fault.
Yep. HFF came and bought all the ones I had there. I think it was like 5 or 6 that were left. So I don't have any paint pens. I'm waiting on them to come in. All the blanks that were in the Learning Center were black. And all I have is one black paint pen that I snatched out of the cup just in case for my PVC. I think I finally came home with 2. But so I'm like, we can't mark on these blanks. What do you guys need help with? You know, like, are you beginning into it? And I went through the whole list of like beginner, what, and the normal kind of questions. And I'm watching people do this, like they're having trouble. And I'm like, okay, does anybody want to actually put thread down on a wrapper? Do you want to know where all your problems are causing? Here's how to fix it. And they're like, just nodding their head in agreement. So I was like, sweet, we're going back to basics. Cool. And went into my whole spill. And it was hilarious because there was a couple that was over here on the front. And I'm watching them as I'm saying stuff because, you know, I'm looking around the room making eye contact with everybody, just seeing what's going on. And I'm watching them. You can see in real time, they're going, like, they're just the most expressive on how they're, like, coming, like, the information's coming to them. And they're just like, why didn't I think of that? Or, oh, that's why that's happening. Or the wife would be, like, smacking him. And he's like, what? He's like, I'm trying not to laugh. And then one time I couldn't help it because they started it on this, like, back and forth where she's, like, so excited about whatever I said. I don't even remember what it was. And then he's like, I know I got. And I'm like, I'm sorry. And like, I started cackling because I could not stop watching them.
I told you to do it that way. You never listen to me.
It was that kind of battle. And I'm just like, I said, I'm not picking on y'all. I just love y'all's facial expressions. And I was like, it seems like some of the stuff I'm saying y'all have been like bickering about. And she's like,
okay. Sounds like us.
So it was really funny. But Sunday is the day that is usually kind of like it slows down because a lot of people are leaving early on Sunday. So normally by like 2 o'clock, it's pretty quiet in there.
Yeah.
And it sucks because it's supposed to go to 5. It's supposed to be till 5 o'clock. But when there's not a single soul walking around in there at 2:30, it's just vendors. Like, what do we do? You know?
It's like, go ahead and start putting this up.
You start breaking stuff down very, very slowly. Like, you're not pulling big things. Like for us, the first thing we started doing was pulling all the teacups and the picture frames down.
Anything that can just kind of stack and start getting ready. Things
that didn't matter if they disappeared, you know, just the decorative stuff. And it was like starting to kind of condense things down on shelves. And it was kind of like, okay, but
I'm gonna take these off a hanger, lay them on the table.
Yeah, just move these over.
Start breaking this down.
So that's what David is going to try to figure out how to prevent from happening is either because he did a giveaway. They gave away a wrapper this year
on
Sunday. It was right after the wrapper was given away. Actually, that everybody
and had to be there to win it.
Yeah, I don't know if we could hear it, but we weren't paying attention because we had a lot of people still like coming up asking questions and having, you know, just chit chatting with us and stuff. And yeah, it was slower, but we still had enough people there to prevent us from really, I mean, not that we ever want to break down at 12 o'clock. I feel like that's way too early. But we did start at 3, I think is when we started.
2:30.
At that time, a third of the vendors were already packed up and or gone. And we're like, that's not cool. That's a little early for that, you know?
Well, and not to like, don't take this wrong, Randy.
All the good deals are gone.
All the good deals are gone on Saturday. That's been the problem, is people come for the deals, not the seminars, not
Which-
the learning side of it.
Well, and it should be a mix of both. You should
Mhm.
get the deals, and you should do the seminars. I do feel like there was a lot going on with the seminars and the learning this year because there were seminars going on at the same time that there was learning center stuff going on.
Yes.
So there was learning center A, learning center B, and also a seminar going on at the same time.
At some one point or another, yeah.
And so if you wanted to go to like two of those things, you got to really like make a decision which one's more important to you. And
I feel like it should only be learning center, period.
just a
Just
single
one learning center, one seminar, and they alternate 1 hour, 1 hour, 1 hour, 1 hour, 1 hour, 1 hour.
which that would help with cleanup with whoever's doing the
Because
hands-on
then you get
thing
another hour to,
to clean up and reset for the next
Mhm.
person coming in.
and the next person has an hour to set up beforehand.
That would be ideal instead of having somebody coming in right behind you and
Mhm.
you're trying to get everything, clean. Because like I said, if somebody had come in behind my marbling one, they would not have been able to get anything done for 20 minutes unless they helped.
Yep.
And that would have just been it because it was a mess, absolute mess in there.
But that would also allow for like more basic intermediate
Yeah,
and intermediate advanced.
yeah. You can alternate.
Mm-hmm.
And if for some reason your class ran over a little bit, it wouldn't.
You're fine.
You wouldn't hinder anything because
If people
you
wanted
still
to
had
leave to
that.
go to the next one, they could. And
You have that hour to kind of reset everything, and people still ask questions. Because that's the other thing about whether it's the seminars or it's the learning center stuff is that you're in a rush to get out of there because you have somebody else coming in right behind you. And so if those people come up to you because they had a question during your class, you've got to like walk and talk with me or
come to the booth.
come to the booth. And at that point, they have forgotten what they were going to talk to you about, or they don't feel like it was as important, or, whatever. There could be 100 million reasons why they wouldn't come back to chat with you.
They went to another seminar and just forgot.
Yeah.
Like-
Got sidetracked and, I forgot to ask about that, but I don't remember what I was going to say. And, whatever the case may be. But I think that's ideal. Yeah. Where you have the break. And so
Mhm.
nobody's rushing, but everybody's still being able to get the stuff done. And yes, everybody's got stuff on sale. So the initial rush is always everybody running to the big vendors to get like the blanks that are on sale, the guides that are on sale, any of the stuff that's on sale. Snatch it, grab it, go.
Mhm.
That's fine. Do it. But we got to figure out how to keep it going both Saturday and Sunday. Or just the expectation be that it shuts down early on Sunday. One of the two. Because I did have somebody email me that they came in late on Sunday because they were traveling back and they wanted to stop back by, and it was after everybody had started packing up. And that shouldn't be okay.
Yeah.
I don't feel like that's okay. But to no fault to any of the vendors, if nobody's there, what are they supposed to do?
We're burning money at that point.
Because they're all either
And yeah, Randy, that's true too. Having more room by having only one would be better for
you
everybody
can make
too.
it bigger. Because he could have taken, so let's say that this year, because we had Learning Center A over here and Learning Center B over here, he could have taken it and combined it together.
2/3 the amount of room, but more room for each person.
Well, the goal would be to get more people in there, right? So that more people could have hands-on stuff. These logistics, this kind of discussing of it is the stuff that, David has all those, like he sent surveys to the vendors and he had QR codes on everywhere about, feedback because he wants feedback because he wants everybody to be
He
able
wanted it good, bad, indifferent.
He
like-
wants all the feedback because he can take that feedback, apply it, make it better, and continue to keep pushing the show forward. So that's the kind of stuff that, we need to hear. Vendors need to be honest about their experiences and people need to be honest about it. And any ideas that people have in regards to what you think might help it would
Mhm.
let him know, or let me know and I'll let him know, like one of the two. So, but yeah, we finally started packing up about 3-ish. It took us till, I think we left around 5:30 or 6.
No. We were back in
We were in Rock Hill at 7.
7, so we would have left by 5:15. 5
We
o'clock.
finished by 5. And we haven't eaten, so we had to stop and grab.
Sorry, it was giving her a notification about reconnecting.
It's fine. We had to stop and grab some food, and we decided to stop at this place called Dave's Hot Chicken because our kids won't eat anything spicy, and we've been dying to try this place for a long time. And so I was like, why not Dave's Hot Chicken? Like, and we'll just park over here and walk because there was no way for us to get the trailer in there. It was the best decision we ever made in our lives. I cannot. That food is amazing. The chicken, like one chicken tender is like this big, and I'm not even exaggerating. It's massive, and they have like 5 or 7 different like levels of hotness.
I want to say it's more than that.
It is so good. So we get home. His dad brings the kids over. Praise his dad because he'd already given them baths. They ate dinner. They would just poof, go to bed. Love you. Have missed
Love
you.
you. Missed you. Give me a hug. Go to sleep.
They went to bed, and then we crashed Sunday night. Like, it was probably the first time we sat down in a week. We watched TV, like a couple episodes or something, and we went to bed. Like, we were done. And that's not normal for me to watch TV. It's usually maybe once a week when we have date night. I'll watch TV with him, but I don't like to sit. I usually just like either got to be doing something or
because when we sit, we go.
I get sleepy. I get the sleepies, so I'm always like, I don't want to sit. I have to keep moving because if I don't keep moving, I'm gonna go to sleep. And then it took us 2 days to unload the trailer. And I asked him,
3 days to put the shop back together.
Please take Monday off to help me because one, I can't move the tables by myself. So half the stuff that would have to come in here, I need your help with. And obviously, when half the shop has been removed, I'm now going, well, here's the perfect time to freaking start cleaning it. So we started cleaning and reorganizing and getting all the stuff picked up and moving stuff into different things. And 2.5 days to get the shop put back together. Enough for me to be able to start working on that wrap on Wednesday. Because I was like, I am behind.
Mm-hmm.
I've got to get going. And there's parts of the shop I haven't even touched, but they're just going to stay untouched until I can come up for air. Because that rod has set me back 4 freaking weeks. I just finished the last.
You were supposed to be caught up by now.
I was supposed to be working on my last build. Like, it set me back 4 freaking weeks now. So it's like, but the wrap is finished. Hopefully the color preserver this go around doesn't screw me over. If it does, I'm going to have a heart-to-heart with the customer and go, we're marbling it. We're not doing a wrap. But I enjoy the expo. I have a lot of fun there. I learn a lot, too. You know, just having conversations with people. Mm-hmm. I love to meet people. I love to put the name to the face or to the username that we see that pops up on the socials and stuff. And I can't tell you how many people were just so thankful just for me putting out the videos, whether it was the good videos or it was the bad videos. And they're just like, we have learned so much from you. And I'm like, thank you. You know, I just hope you enjoy it. You know, it's just me in a nutshell.
I don't remember who it was, but somebody came up and was like, it's so great to meet you. Yeah, it's great to meet you. And then he walked away.
Another random moment.
I was like, I didn't meet you. I don't know your name.
What's your name? Bye. I had another guy come running by the booth. He come running up to me. Mary, like, he knows my name. Don't know his. He's like, I stopped cutting my fingernail because of you. Like, and got that close to me with it. And I'm like, cool. And he just keeps on running. And I'm like,
who are you? What's your name? Ezekiel. I won't finish that.
No, don't, because it gets bad. But he was like, I stopped cutting my thumbnail because of you, and just took off. And I was like, awesome. Little things like that is what makes it so funny. Like last year, I had women threatening to beat my butt because they recognized my voice when I was talking.
He's always laying in the bed, and I hear this voice of some woman. And now I know who it is. It's you.
She walked up to me and I was talking to somebody else. She goes, you. It's you. And I was like, oh, Lord, what we about to do right here? And she got, I mean, like the way she approached it, I was like, man, I don't know if I need to be defensive right now or if I need to be on the offense. Like, what we getting into? She's like, he is always watching you on that phone when we're in bed. And I'm like, that's a lot of information to take in right now.
A lot of things I didn't need to think about.
I'm not sure if I want to have this rest of this conversation with you, ma'am. I can't help when he watches me on the TV. That's really weird. And she's like, no, I'm just messing with you. It's funny. I like your stuff. You're cool. I was like, whew, I'm glad because I was about ready. I don't know if we're about to fight, dance, or whatever, but we about to do something. Oh man. But yeah, it was definitely fun. But yeah, I can't there was another one that caught me off guard. Can't remember what it was though, but we
I
get
just
that.
think it's funny when, hey, it's great to meet you. Yeah, it's great to meet you. Whoop,
Mm-hmm.
whoa. Who are you?
Yep. What's your name? Ezekiel.
What's yours? Tony.
But and you know, we get to see our friends and we get to see the other vendors and hang out with them and chat with them and catch up with them. And because we were on the back wall, we didn't get to kind of interact with everybody as much as we normally do. But then again, everybody, anytime that I ever took a lap, was busy. And there was always people there. So obviously it dies down in the afternoons and Sunday gets a little bit slower. But it is definitely something that you do need to check out. And we'll figure out all the logistics of make Sunday more fun or something like that. David is going to take it and make it better. I can promise you that. His heart, his passion, he is 100% wanting to make and keep the ICRB around and growing for the industry. So
And already talking about ideas for next year.
yeah, so he's going to be the man that's going to be able to take it into the next step, whatever that may be. So I'll be absolutely excited about that. But I know that you guys are just dying
For someone besides Duncan to win.
because it's that time. Hold on, what did we just? Yeah, I don't know what happened to the live stream. Sorry. Hey, Chuck. We don't talk about Bruno, that rap. Oh, that's the new name, Bruno. Thank you. I love how you show it all. I can only go every other year because we spend so much money. It will break you real quick going there. Good evening. Hey, Bill. If you Tony, my favorite. All right, so tonight's giveaway is going to be dun dun dun.
The newest American Tackle weighted butt cap system. So, if I can't see exactly, let me look on that screen. There's a foam cap. The second piece is what you actually glue into the butt of the rod, and then your 3 weighted pieces. Those 3 weighted pieces can all be threaded inside of each other to be all used together or individually or 2 or however combination you want to do it, but they screw into the butt that can screw out so that you can change them.
Which this makes balancing your rods super easy. And also works in conjunction with the inletting tool.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought that was actually kind of cool because that's a lot less mess than how we've been doing it. And you can control.
I don't remember the exact dimensions to know.
They have it listed.
Yeah.
There is specific. If you go into the little bulleted section that's underneath the description of it, it tells you what size blanks that it will fit. But it's just a great overall kind of way to balance your rods really quickly, honestly, in my opinion.
But they will all screw into each other, so if you need all 3, you can.
I saw that and went, huh, I didn't know about that one. Wes was like,
Because it just came out.
So, like he said, make sure you check to see all new products because apparently there's things they're hiding from me too. But in order to win this, you have to answer a riddle.
A riddle.
And Wes is going to ask you the riddle. Make sure you're caught up on the live feed. And if you're new here, Wes is going to ask the riddle. First one to enter in the correct answer, correctly spelled, in the chat.
Duncan, don't answer.
Duncan can't answer this time.
You're off this week.
Sorry, friend. You got to take a break this time. You'll be the winner, and you just need to contact me by Monday with your name, email address, and your address so that I can get Mudhole to drop ship it to you next week.
You ready? This is a pretty tough one. Mary couldn't get it.
I don't want to get any of them, so that's not really saying much.
How many letters are in the alphabet?
Oh, yeah, that one.
Pretty simple.
It is, but when you read it is different than whenever you hear it. That's how all riddles are. You
It's
know?
always the case.
The answer is not 26. 30
Seconds.
seconds. Duncan's giving everybody a 30-second start.
It's not 26.
Not 27. Tricky, tricky.
Remember, it's
tricky.
a riddle. It ain't a question.
Not 25. Brian's about to start counting down.
Ah, Carlos.
11.
The alphabet has 11 letters.
Congratulations, Carlos. Yep. How many letters are in the alphabet? Whoop, whoop.
Randy, what alphabet are you using? The words, the alphabet.
0. Carlos, I think I don't have your stuff memorized like I do Duncan. So send me a message. I know that you won before, but make sure you give me your address so that we can get it drop shipped to you. Congratulations. Some of y'all run out of fingers or have too many. So that we can get it drop shipped to you. Congratulations. David said, dang, I missed the. I love this. Some of y'all ran out of fingers or have
The
too
alphabet.
Woohoo. That's funny.
Let me use that on the kids.
You should, because they're both going to give you the 26, and then they're going to argue with you as to why it's not the 26, or why it should be the 26.
And I'll argue with them. I don't care. I will debate.
The problem is you are teaching them to argue a brick off the wall, and I can't stand it because they do it to me, and then I get mad, and then everybody's in a bad mood because mom's mad.
You get mad because you don't realize that I know I'm wrong. I'm just doing it to rage bait you.
I know that you do that. That's why I just stopped.
I knew I was wrong 20 minutes ago, but now it's fun.
Gary, help with that one. Can't do that. All right, so at this point we're going to open it up to Q&A. So if you guys got questions, comments, concerns, let us know. How can I get a price for a custom sturgeon pole?
The easiest way is go to thedecorativestudio.com and then fill out the rod build questionnaire, and most likely I will get back to you very shortly.
Yeah, Wes usually answers those, and then when the design comes in, he hands over here's all the specs, here's everything we're doing for it. What are you doing to it?
That's the easiest way, because that's the easiest way for us to keep track of it, because then it puts it in the email as a certain category, and then we can track it.
Yep. He said, I don't argue, I just prove I am right. You said the quiet part out loud. You can't say that. You're welcome. I already know he does it. He is the worst. He rage baits. That's all he does. He just loves it. He thinks it's hilarious.
I do. I love getting people riled up.
And he just does it to the boys. But the problem is the boys are learning it, so they're going to practice it, and they practice it on me because they know that I'm like, stop. When is the book coming out? You know what? The problem is I got to get caught up with all these rods and these builds and stuff. I have a time period where I'm not taking on any more builds because
And that might get extended just to...
I am literally like shutting building the rods.
Once we get
and
caught
stuff.
up, she needs 2 months.
I need 2 solid months, and I hate to do that, but I need 2 solid months because I need to get that finished. It's literally on my lap. I haven't been able to look at it in the last it's been 4 months since I opened it last, and
Like legit, once she's caught up, book stop for 2 months.
no grips. I'll be making videos, obviously, to put out of stuff that I have. Alice is up here like ping-ponging around going, I want to try this. But the book will be the only thing I'll be working on. I have some blanks with now labels, and how can you... What? I have some blanks with no labels. How can you identify them? Wiggle your nose.
So, as long as you do butt tip and figure out if it's a fast, medium, whatever, and then look at the actual blank itself or the characteristics of the material used, you can get close.
That's a lot of words.
It's a lot of work.
Do you do vinyl decals? If so, what kind of vinyl do you use, 651 or 751? Okay, I do vinyl decals, but I don't know what 651 or 751 mean because I use the Cricut for the vinyl and I just use regular vinyl. So I don't know what 651 or 751 means. Would love Wes's thoughts on setting up a spiral acid wrap as far as distance on the first guide and offsetting first guide or center it. Being I'm using a 300 size Bass Muskie reel.
What?
Where would you put your first guide, your stripper, on a spiral wrap setup? And would you offset it or center it since he's using a 300 size reel?
I usually always have it offset just a little.
Like 5 degrees, right?
Yeah, but it's usually offset opposite from the way I'm going.
You do it the opposite
So
of
like
the spiral?
if I am using a left-hand retrieve reel and my spiral is going to the right, I am taking that first guide and putting it just a hair left of center
Why do you do that?
to bring it back over more so that it helps it get it to where I want it easier.
Because of the spool?
Mm-hmm. Now, if it's a level wind reel, it's going just dead center. But if I have to thumb that line, I'm canting it to make it easier for me.
Okay. Yeah, specify that. Level wind, you don't need to offset it. Cool. Nice. Now you make them like, what is, am I missing something on the vinyl? Okay. I, is Cricut vinyl done?
Level wind, I bass fish. So I would just center it, honestly, and not worry about it. Because your level wind's going to do the majority of the work for you. But at the same time, depending on what reel and the eyelet that it's using, it may stack it differently than you want it to. So center it, test it like 3 or 4 times and wind, and make sure that it's stacking the line how you want it to. Because depending on which way you cant it, depends on which way it stacks it. 751 is thinner and more for curved objects.
Yeah, that's what I'm just reading. I was trying to see if like the actual Cricut vinyl itself said what it was, and it just keeps coming up with the 651 is this and 751 is that by Oracle. I'm gonna assume that the what I'm calling the normal vinyl is what the 751 would be because it's about 2 milliliters or less, and it's fine. And that thicker one, I have an outdoor vinyl that is thicker, so I guess that's the 651. I've used both sizes, and I have Wes put a decal on the back of our car with the normal, the thinner white vinyl, and it still has no issues on it. We have one on the tube that rides around on the top of the car for the rods, and they're neither one of them, obviously the window's not, but there's no clear coat over top of the other one. It's on the tube, and it's holding up just fine. No fade resistance or no fading or anything like that. I haven't had an issue with any of the with the skinnier one. I haven't had an issue with that thicker one either. That one was specifically outdoor use. So ta-da. Thank you. I'm doing it right then. Okay. Yeah, I just can't. It's not. I will eventually find the answer as to what the Cricut vinyl is, but I don't want to sit here and be like Thumbelina on my phone trying to figure out the answer to it. I'll eventually deep dive into that question just because you asked me and I don't know the answer to it. Now I'm like, huh, I don't. So much so that I want to write it down. What's this? What's this? Something I haven't seen. All right, what other questions we got?
How much wood would a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood?
0. 0.
Can I have an otter?
No, I've already talked to you about this. You cannot have an otter. You cannot have a raccoon.
You didn't say no to a possum.
You cannot have a possum. I am not having a possum. Nope. Absolutely not.
Squirrel?
Nope. I've already had half of those animals. Having started doing my grips now, I need some help info. I seem to be getting a very noticeable glue line between my EVA. I'm using contact cement. I'm doing 2 layers. Could I be doing too thick of a layer, or am I not clamping the joint enough? I have been back through your previous podcast videos. Okay, the noticeable glue line is from sanding. What you want to do with the contact cement, and you see me do this a mix throughout the videos. You want to do a thin layer of contact cement between both sections. Let them completely dry, stick them together. You also want to make sure that you have them completely stuck on all 4 sides with even pressure applied to them as well. However, I don't care how good the glue joint is. If you have no issues with, like, it's trying to separate or anything like that, and everything's been applied together, EVA dust, as you sand, will collect in the glue that's around the outside of it, and will continue to keep getting stuck into it no matter how far deep into it that you sand, okay? So when you go to clean your grip up, bump your sandpaper up. You can try, I never go past 240, but if you're having dramas with it getting stuck in the glue joint, try this like 320. I think that's the next size up. And do a quick pass. Clean it. Do not use that same section again. Do a fresh side of it and a quick pass. And then come back with a magic eraser. See if that helps.
And by quick pass, she's saying that, like, as you're
Drag
standing, you're
angle.
dragging it away so
angle.
that it's bringing the dust away from the grip as you're sanding going this way.
So you're holding it straight, but you're just gonna drag it. You don't want to put the old EVA that you're sanding off of it on the new as you're coming through it. So you're kind of holding it at an angle and just kind of pulling it
and moving down and
away from it. It's a weird thing to try to describe, but you're kind of at an angle and down.
It'll build up behind it, and that buildup is what's getting in the glue.
Yeah. Now, if none of that fixes it, it means that you're not getting enough pressure between the two to get those pieces together perfectly. I have a Cameo, and 751 sometimes causes me issues. Okay. I don't have Facebook anymore. Is there any chance you can let us know when you're going live next on your Instagram videos? I hate that I always miss these. Okay, so
every 2 weeks.
Every 2 weeks. Unless there is an issue, I will try to do better about announcing it on my socials. But our next one would be the 21st of this month. So every other week at 9 p.m. But I will definitely try to at least mention it in the day of the video. But I got to get better at, like, advertising. Maybe I can put it in my stories. Because people hate when I talk about the podcast on my socials. They just don't watch them. Thank you guys for all you do. I learned a lot from watching you guys. Much love, David. We appreciate it. Thanks for listening to us babble on about threads and epoxies.
Alice's therapist having a therapist.
Cast vinyl for sure works best for me.
Yes.
It is always Saturday. It's always Saturday night. Cast vinyl. So now I gotta look up cast vinyl. I like that you guys are like, well, this, and this. I don't do a ton of decals. because personally I don't like them. But when my customers ask for like, special ones and I don't want to get 20 of them printed, I will make them.
Hop right over there to that Cricut, and there you go.
There was one this year about, well, it's not this, was it this year?
Last year.
Last year. Kicked my butt. I could not get it.
The one that we got to do like another one or two for.
Not yet. But yes, yeah, he wants a twin set is what he wants. Okay, cool. I'll try to make more. You've helped me a ton. I'd love to show my support back. Thank you. Greatest way that you guys should show support is literally just watching the videos, commenting, like all that stuff, and going and using my discount code at Mudhole. Like, honestly, that gives me a little itty bitty money in return on that. So that's, you guys get money off, and I get a couple pennies thrown my way, and it's a great day, But I appreciate it. Tell people to watch more of my videos and interact with them.
Yeah, that's really,
because that really is the best way. I don't care what platform it is, except for Instagram. Instagram doesn't care if you get views or not. You don't get any kind of monetary gain on that, other than just people watching you. But Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube.
You want to help? Watch the videos on Facebook on silent and just let it repeat while your phone's charging at night.
They catch that. It's after I actually looked
after
into
3
that.
times it stops it.
It stops. It doesn't care how many times you watch it. It's like, nope, this is a bot. It'll actually cancel the previous watches because of it. Don't do that. Don't do that. Yeah, somebody was like, it was in somebody else's comments. They were like, I accidentally fell asleep watching you. So if you got 1,000 views this morning, it was because of me. And I'm like, honey, that's not how it works. See, all the socials will go, nope, they'll flag it and they'll just won't count the views for the creator, which sucks because it'd be like, I want to support them this way, and it's like, no, you can't do that. That's fine. Don't worry about me. Not like you guys aren't taking 2/3 of my profit anyways.
I can't believe I did that again.
I don't want to talk about you and that knife, to be honest.
That's a different knife.
I don't care. It's still a knife. I walked away. This is the second time I walked away and you cut your finger. And then the boys come running inside. Dad cut his hand again. And I'm like, how bad? I don't know. He's bleeding. And I'm like, well, obviously, if he cut his hand, he's bleeding.
There's blood on your concrete.
So I kept doing what I was doing because I figured if it was bad, you'd come find me. And I come back in and you're like, you could just, the sheepish look on your face. And I was like, it's bad. I just started making my own decals. People say 751 is better for curbs, but harder to weed and it rips. I could see that now that I understand kind of what it is, because that is very similar to... There's a way to do reverse weeding, which is what Cinco Sticks told me to do, was try to do the reverse weeding, because I can't stand weeding. I can't stand it. I get so mad because everything just like moves around and I'm like... But you're supposed to be able to pull off like the backgrounds and then stick your transfer tape to the front of it and then pull it off of it, and then you can yank the other things off of it because it's stuck to the transfer paper. But I can never get it to work for me. Once again, don't do that many decals. There's YouTube videos that explain it. So if you're interested in what reverse weeding is, you can watch some of the ladies. But I guarantee you, because I've watched them, I followed them step for step. I've done everything they said that you were supposed to do, along with what they were doing on the camera, because they showed every step. I did every step, and it still wouldn't work. So I don't know what I'm doing versus what they're doing. I give up. The Cricut ladies usually are pretty good, but...
You lost me.
I can't stand weeding. My Cameo would snatch some of the letters. Mine does too. I actually changed... Well, I don't have a Cameo. I've got the Maker. I don't know if the settings are the same across the board for the Cricuts or not, but... I started cutting my decals on the wasabi tape setting for the stuff that has a lot of intricate lines, small letters, all, stuff like it's really detailed. Now, it doesn't cut all the way through the vinyl, so it won't rip up the letters. You have to kind of finish the cuts just a little bit, but they came out a lot cleaner doing that instead of the normal decal setting. What brand of blanks do you prefer for casting rods? I just went to the saltwater fishing show and almost passed out when I found that the 9-foot Century blank I was holding was $900. Yeah, those are pricey.
Tell Ryan to give you a discount.
Right? Talk to Ryan. Like, hey. Yeah, they're not cheap.
It depends on what type of casting rod, but most everything we use is something Mudhole American Tackle. Honestly.
Yeah, but I mean, it depends on like what you're fishing for.
Yeah.
You know,
But we've used every manufacturer under the sun. Even ones you haven't heard of.
Right. That's a Century that's sitting back there.
No, that's a Seeker.
Oh, I'm sorry, that's a Seeker. We had a Century like a couple months ago in here. They're not cheap, that's for sure.
But we get people that's all they want is the Century weapons or Weapon Juniors.
And they're good. They're good for what they
Striper
do.
from shore. More details. Like, are you talking
Wes
10, 11, 12 foot? Are you talking
Wes is gonna need bait too.
8, 9 foot? Are you throwing top water? Or are you throwing any more?
Let's see. I favor Rain Shadow. Rain Shadow is a good brand too. I use the Cricut as well and love the transfer clear paper. Trick is to really press hard on letters so they actually stick to the clear transfer paper.
I got a transfer tape that'll...
Don't get this one.
It'll snatch it right off and you'll never get it back off of the transfer.
There's one, we got one that was called Strong Grip.
Don't
Do not
get it.
buy it because every time that I accidentally grab that one, and it says it on it, but I'm not paying attention, the decal gets on there and the weeding is amazing because it won't move. But you can't get it to release off of it. And so you end up like scrapping the whole project. I don't know what you're supposed to use that stuff for, but it's not the regular decal.
It's not for us.
It's terrible. But I agree. I don't mind. But I saw a lady using, she's using what are the rollers to get rid of the hair?
Lint rollers?
They're lint rollers. She's using lint roller paper to transfer decals. Oracle 751. Okay. Yeah. Freaking lint roller paper. Like, I'm telling you, these ladies can come up with anything. And she was, I mean, obviously, she's showing everything's working fine, but I can't even get the regular stuff to let go of it. Or to do anything with it.
Medium heavy, usually showing 6 3/4 SP minnows. Look at the Atrex blanks.
Those are good ones. I like the Atrex. But they
In
are
particular, hold on.
they're skinny. They look like they're lightweight, but they are stout. We got some.
I remember what.
Hello, I'm new here. What do you make? Hi, we make custom fishing rods. My name is Mary Christie. I do some crazy stuff. And I teach. We don't have any.
Not 10 foot.
Yeah. No, that's not mine. I have a 13-foot one.
Yeah, all the ones we have over there are 13. But give me like 60 seconds and I'll be able to tell you. Because anytime I type in M on Google, it pulls up Mudhole.
Can't imagine why.
I kind of visit the site way too much.
What you got going on over here? I don't know why I moved my mouse over there. I still haven't changed the battery in it.
Yeah. So it is a 10-foot, 2.75 pound, which is just the test curve rating because it's technically a carp blank, but it is a moderate fast and 1 to 3 ounce.
That's similar to mine, just shorter.
Or you can go to the 12, 2.5. You want something a little lighter.
That's a 2.75 or 3.5.
It's still a 1 to 3.
They're good blanks. You should check them out. They're skinnier, but they have really, really good backbone.
Jamie, it's right there.
Are you still doing that crazy wrap that you cut off once? I cut it off twice, actually.
Now the third wrap.
That's my third wrap. I just finished it today.
Why is this twisted?
This is my cosmic karma. I've had too many positive things happening, and this one's bringing me back down to, it's humbling me.
Back to reality.
It's very humbling, but it's part of rod building. And the other thing that I haven't discussed about this is that wrap over that 12-inch section drops 5 millimeters. Yeah, it's 5 to 7. Hold on, I'll tell you how much it drops.
You're welcome, Doug.
It's drastic.
And retail on that blank's only like 170, 180.
And you can use my discount code.
Yep, it'll get you almost $20 off. M Christie 10.
Use the discount code. Save you money. That is. Yeah, but you look at that. Yeah, it's like between it's 4 to 5 millimeters, but it is not fun how drastic it tapers at the tip. So it's complicated on how that thing has to get packed and adjusting the gang patterns. It's just been a nightmare, but it's just what it is. Sorry for the reminder. No, it's fine. I mean, that's just part of rod building. It's been a while since I've had to cut off and redo so much stuff. That's the reason why I joke and say it's my cosmic karma, because it's been a while since I've had to redo a project like that. It was just time. And 2026 started off strong with it. Amazing. She cut it off 2 times, gave me such anxiety.
You should have heard the anxiety here.
Wow. The first one, I was angry. I was so mad. The second one, when I got back from the show, now granted, there was about a week in between because I had to stop working on it and then I had to come back, and I spent 5 hours working on the one before I cut it. I was indifferent as when I cut the second one. It was like I just knew, there was just no way to fix it. I was going to spend an eternity trying to fix it, and then I might not even like it when I got done with it. I knew I had to cut that one. The first one, there was nothing wrong with it. The color preserver failed me, which is why I was so mad, because the first one, there was nothing wrong with it. But because I'm me, I don't want to rewrap the same wrap again, so I had to change it. But when I changed it, I bit off way more than I could chew, because I hadn't done that pattern before as a 4-axis, and spacing was questionable at best, because that's the one I designed. I didn't know how it was going to behave. I created this in visual wrap. There are some wraps that just should not be done as 4 axes. That is one of them. So I went, but when I got back from the expo and I started working on it, like Thursday when I cut it, I was just like, I was fine. Everybody was losing their mind online, and I'm like, I'm sorry guys, but like it had to be done. There was
no saving that.
There was no no rainbow at the end of that for me. You know, I could have spent the 3 days packing it and trying to get it perfected. But I didn't have that kind of time because I'm already 4 weeks behind because of that. Redoing the grips, redoing the wraps, redoing the wrap. Finally got to the third one. So I'm happy with this wrap. It's a little bit darker than I wanted, but I'm happy with it. I actually like this wrap better. I do too, because it's simpler. You can actually see what it looks like from a distance. And it makes you want to come look at it. The other one, you know what I nicknamed the other one? Pixelated Chaos, because that's what it looks like from a distance.
And on a straight taper, it'd look a lot better, or one with a smaller taper, where you didn't have to worry about so much. Because I saw like where you were packing it, it looked great up here on the fat end, and then down here, if you were to finish packing, you're gonna have like a 1/4-inch gap in some spots.
And that's the problem, is like at the butt. Those patterns are so close together at the butt side,
and then they spread out,
and then all of a sudden they start to spread out. So everything over here is closed, right? The stuff in the middle has got gaps wider than the stuff on the tip, and so it's like, which one's telling me the truth? You know, so you start shifting all these threads, and you're like, okay, well this is tight. There's no more getting any more in here, so I got to fix this over here. is what it is. The flow is awesome. Thank you, David. Regarding EVA, if you have angled cuts, joints to clamp, do you drill the center hole first or just clamp? Why are you clamping? I know you've seen me do this in the past, but I'm only doing it on things that have to be glued in wet. If we're doing angles where one is cut like this and we're gluing another one to it, we shouldn't have to clamp it. But if we're doing tiger stripes, for instance, where you have to glue it in wet, I can understand clamping it. But we don't want to clamp the EVA if we don't have to. But if you must clamp the EVA, you're going to want to have a center hole drilled first.
And a mandrel in place.
And a mandrel in place. And that's to prevent it from sliding out and becoming a little bridge. I've had that happen before. Or doing any number of funny things. But generally speaking, we do not want to have to clamp EVA. Because when you clamp it, it distorts the EVA. So if you're going section by section clamping it, then this piece, because you put pressure on it, had a cut that was like this. And then this section, you put pressure on it, and the cut was supposed to be like this. But because you put a clamp on it, now they're like this. And they won't glue together as nicely as they should.
But
we don't want to clamp it if we don't have to.
Yeah.
We'll do it. But like the tiger stripe one in particular, that one does have to be clamped. But know that I have to fight this drama every time I do that because I distort it when I'm clamping it. I'm getting ready to do a 4-piece travel blank with a closed horizontal chevron under a 1/2-inch diameter blank. That's going to be fun. That's a big one. Okay, unfortunately we can't get weldwood, so my problem would be glue. Can't you guys get barge? Can y'all get barge in Australia? Okay, apparently y'all's is different names. Probably going to butcher how you're supposed to say it, but Selly's Gel Grip, Sika, 105 Contact Fix, and Permatex is basically y'all's contact cement. Sika 105 Contact Fix is probably not your best bet since it's sprayable, but
it's probably going to be Permatex.
Aqua Seal, specialized for neoprene and wetsuit repairs.
Selly's is what he's tried.
The gel. See if you can get barge. Barge is what they used when they glue shoes together, but I don't remember if it's not available over here or not.
I'd try barge or Permatex.
It's Permatex. Oh, yeah. Let's see. Permatex. Yeah, if you can get it in a bigger thing than that tube, he's going to go through. That's heat and water resistant. Metal, wood, leather, rubber, and many other surfaces. Yeah, if you can get Permatex in like a gallon.
Or half gallon or quart.
Instead of the squeeze tube I just saw, that probably be best bet, but. But Lumen's Workshop Contact Cement says it's ideal for EVA foam and crafting. Probably built for the cosplay people, since it says EVA and crafting. So you'd have to test to see if that would contact cement should be contact cement, but you have to just make sure it holds up in water. But
they're not all created equal.
No, they're not. They're not all created equal. That Aqua Seal, that's for neoprene and wetsuit repairs, intrigues me. Because if it would work on a repair on a wetsuit, you would never have to worry about water getting down into it, in my opinion. But I don't know. Let's see. I'm going to ask a question that may make me sound dumb, but I've tried 3 different Sharpie extra fine tip paint pens, and either I'm getting bad pens or I need to learn how to use them. Let me guess, they're exploding. Mine always comes out like a giant paint blob when I watch your videos. It's nice thin line. So I only giggle because yes, that happens. Okay. It took me a while to figure this out, and I have been putting out a PSA ever since I did, because I admit my pens have been exploding, which is what you're describing. When you first initially open the pen, you do exactly what it says on as the directions. You shake it to get it activated. You depress the tip until the paint starts to flow. Okay. After that first initial use, do not, and I repeat, do not ever depress the tip again.
Shake and write.
Shake and scribble until it comes back to life. Sometimes it's within 30 seconds. Sometimes you might want to watch a TV show while you're scribbling, okay? But if you depress the tip to get it flowing again, it's done. It's going to explode. It's going to blob. It is going to just all
never work right again.
It will never work right again, because what's happened is the tip is dried out, that little nib at the bottom. You can attempt to clean it with acetone. I have tried alcohol, isopropyl alcohol, acetone. I've tried all kinds of stuff. Water doesn't work at all. In the past, with those tips that had exploded, because they're exploded at this point, can't mess them up. None of those worked. I finally found in some fine print writing somewhere, you can't ever depress the tip again. So if you have done that, throw that pen away, get you a new one, and never depress the tip. Always store it tip down so that the paint doesn't dry out. But if it will, without use, but you have to scribble. Don't depress the tip while you scribble. Just scribble. Keep shaking it, and you'll bring it back to life. So that's why. It took me 3 years to figure that out.
And when you depress the tip, don't beat it like it owes you money.
Just all you gotta do is just hold it. You don't even have to pump it. You just hold it.
Kind of hold it, and you'll see it start coming out, and just stop.
And just stop, and then just keep going from there. Once I finally figured out how to do that, how not to make them explode, and believe me, you're not the only one. There has been hundreds of people that have complained to me about their paint pens, including my own self, throwing them against the wall. I have been able to successfully keep one paint pen for 6 months.
Ooh, excuse me.
I'm about to try T-Rex. Let's see, you can get HH66 Duncan. Is it supposed to come out of that mini plastic tip? For me, it seems to drain out the larger part that depresses. Not sure if that makes sense. Yeah, you've already exploded it. If it's coming out of the little white section at the bottom beneath the silver part, that's the nib. That's what it's called. I educated myself on that. That's where the paint's supposed to come out. That little section. If it's coming out around the top,
you've busted it.
The nib has dried out, and and what you've done is when you depressed it, you've overflowed the tip of the pen, and it has nowhere to go but explode out the sides. Okay, that's what's happening. And even if you replace the tip, it's not guaranteed it's going to work. That's just one of those paint pens where you can keep it. I will tell you the hard way to work with it. If you just don't want to throw it away, you can blob it. Got it. Yep, and you can literally blob it onto something, dip it into it, and write like you would with the old quill back in the day. But it's a pain doing it that way.
But you can still use it.
You can still use the paint.
Welcome back to 1752.
As I've done that. Do not even think that I have it, because I'll have one explode and I'm like, ah!
I'm not opening another one. You will finish this.
I'll blob some paint on this paper. It usually is on this thing, and I'll dip it in there and I'll draw a partial line. That's why sometimes when you see some of they're like jutted. It's because I've been dipping the pen and scrapping it.
Pay attention on videos. You'll see it sometimes. That's when she's busted a pen and just said, I'm not opening another one.
Mm-hmm. Don't worry, I'll make a video about those pens. Little PSA. I've been feeling like a goof for too long. Imagine how I felt. Been preaching to all of the internet to go buy these pens and get these pens, and they keep exploding, and everybody's mad at me because they keep exploding. And I'm like, I don't know what's going on. And I've been selling them and talking about them and using them for 3 years, and I finally figure out you can't depress it again after you do it the first time.
Yeah.
And I'm like, man, that would have saved me the 18 freaking pens I throw away, I feel so justified. You're welcome. All right, guys, let's wrap it up because it's getting into a long one, and Mary still has to edit the first one because that hasn't happened yet. But with the expo, absolutely come to it. Come to it next year.
Even if you can only go for one day.
Come to it. It is so much fun. And you learn a lot. Having the conversations with people walking around, talking to vendors, talking to other people, randomly running into people in the aisles. This is the nicest group of people that have ever existed in one building.
Except me.
Except for Wes. The seminars, you learn a lot in those. Learning center, you learn a lot in that. You get to watch Mary glue her hands together. But it is a great place for rod builders to learn, to grow, to get some great deals, to pick up stuff, ask questions to the vendors. You get to meet the staff that works at Mudhole. You get to meet the HFF guys. You get to meet Reggie and All Around Fishing and Batson and, Ryan with all of he had a whole wall full of stuff. Like reels.
Rod Geeks St. Croix was there. Lamaglass was there.
The Rod Guild showed up this year.
NFC was there.
NFC was there. There's a ton of people. There's a bunch of vendors. You can look at the list of the people that were there, and you can go talk to every single one of them. Ask them questions, get answers. CTS was there. You can touch the expensive rods from New Zealand and see what's good about them and hold stuff in your hands. And I think that's the best thing about it, because it's not like everybody can go drive to Mudhole, and go test out blanks and stuff. You can't always drive to, all the guys that are out on the West Coast or HFF and like put the stuff in your hands to see how it feels and if that's going to work for you or not. And if you can make it to the expo, now you've got all of these vendors in the same place and you can compare all the different styles and stuff. And plus with us, our booth is always kind of like a educational booth to begin with. It's actually what inspired the Learning Center. Dave seeing all the kids coming into the booth, me teaching everybody that was, hey, you want to sit down and rap? Here's a rapper. That's what inspired the Learning Center. And we are always going to be answering questions and doing fun stuff because I don't like to just stand around during the expo. And he will tell you, I got to be doing something. I don't care if it's rapping. I don't care if it's like turning grips because now that's become a new thing for me to bring all of our heavy equipment. You should see us trying to get my toolbox that the lathe sits on in and out of the shop. It's a nightmare. It's great. It's great in the shop, but trying to get it out of our door because our garage steps down, so the door has a big drop, and we can't go through the garage door, and because it's broke. But we have to go through the side door.
It's not.
It is broke. It's broke. It's bent. The track is bent. It's bent. Don't let him lie to you. It is bent. That's why we chose not to use it.
No, we chose not to use it because we needed that wall to put stuff.
No.
It's not bent.
It is bent.
I could go over there and open it right now.
No, you can't, because there should be lights and stuff hanging in front of it. When we got the house, the track was bent. Don't you open it right now. Put that thing back on. I swear. But we can't take it out the front door or the garage door because all the stuff that's there, we have to take it out the thing. But anyways, we really have to work on our what's that muscle? Our lats? Is that the lats?
I don't know.
I don't know, but our rows, though, should really get that thing lifted out of here. But
it's only 700 pounds sitting over there in a drawer.
It's not like the toolbox isn't loaded down with all my turning supplies and standing. It's all my stuff I use for grips, minus the glue. But you really should come to the expo. I fell in love with rod building at the expo. I got really excited about rod building at the expo, and I will always go to the expo. Even hopefully until my
If-
dying days.
If it ever goes to another city, we'll still go. We just won't be vendors.
Well, it depends. I mean, if it's closer to us and it's in Charlotte, then hell yeah, we're gonna show up with more than just the shop. Just kidding, because there is just two of us. It's just the two of us. It's hard, but we bring the most, we do the most, and we enjoy what we do. So, oh, and another great thing, the aluminum rod building racks that Mudhole has. You should definitely get one or two of those. I'm not kidding. They show
I finally
off.
convinced her to order one, and she was like,
I need
"Wait a
another
minute,
one.
this holds all the same amount of rods as our other rack,
I need another one.
and I have more space." Yeah, I tried to tell you this, but you didn't want to hear it. Go ahead and order another one.
I need another one. Yep. So now I got rid of a big long wooden one that would only hold like 10 rods or something in it, and now I've got two that hold all of our rods minus our giant tip sections that are in the ceiling now. And I have more room to stick more rods in it, so that's great. And the boys are already working on the rods to fill the holes, so
Yep.
yay. But you should definitely come to the expo. It's a lot of fun. You learn a lot. If you're part of Rod Maker magazine, you get to go to the gala, get some snacks at best, and some drinks, and win some prizes.
and
Win some giveaways.
but you don't have to be a subscriber to go to the expo. So
Go to the expo, you just buy a ticket. But if you want to go to the gala, you have to have a ticket to get in. And that's to win the prizes. They give away a lot of stuff there too, so that's kind of cool.
just don't sit near me.
Yeah, but I sit near you and I still win, so it's just you.
I know. I'm just. It's that Friday the 13th problem.
It's just you. You're the problem, not me.
It's that Friday the 13th drama.
Anyways, great. It's been great hanging out with you guys tonight. This podcast will probably be out next week. I'm going to try to get this one out this following week. Yeah, 2 weeks from now. I still have to get the one we did before we went to the expo out. I did not work on it at all this week because I just said, I need a break. So at nighttime, I was not doing anything, but just trying to decompress from the week and that wrap because that did a number on me mentally. I'm over it now and I'm fine, but the initial cutoff, I was messed up. I was so mad about that. 15 years I ain't never had color preserver mess me up, and then it did. Anyways, I hope you guys have a great night. Don't forget, if you order anything from Mudhole, to please use my discount code MChristy10, and that saves you 10% off of American Tackle, Gaho, Rail Seats, MHX, Pro Products, CRB, and you are going to have an awesome time looking through their apparel. There are new reels they have out. I can't even say the name.
Zvivlo.
Say it again.
Zvivlo.
Yeah, I'm not going to try that. And they have a lot more stuff that's being added to the site. Check out the new products. Some of those new products are awesome, and I'm kind of excited about the weighted ones. I kind of want to get some in to try them. I think that'd be really cool.
Mm-hmm.
Congratulations again to Carlos for winning those tonight, and we will see you guys in 2 weeks. Bye.
Toodles.
Toodles, boodles. Boop, boop. Mudhole is fantastic, but I for sure wouldn't not still be building and learning if it wasn't for everything I learned from you. Oh, that's so sweet. Thank you.
I need a nap.
I need a nap. Can I have a nap?